Welcome back, guys. Still sore from my goddamn lower back, so I put some stuff on it, so hopefully it helps out a bit. As usual, you'll hear my little fan, so it keeps me nice and cool. So we did change some things with Bob. So now Bob is using IK. Let me turn my volume up here a bit. Hopefully it's not going to be too loud. So he's finally using IK. Pretty much just grinded a bit, so now we're level 35. Got the stats up. So just partially gives you the 25 increased attack speed as one of the bonuses, the 25 hit recovery, the 105 defense, the 2 extra combat skills, and the 25% magic find. So that's going to be really nice. We're hitting at an 881 right now. We were going to use one of the weapons I think I previously had. Change out our other helmets, which was the Circulate. I changed it for a Rock Stopper, so it gives you the resistances, gives you vitality, more fast hit recovery. So basically I'm kind of sacrificing lifesteal for fast hit recovery, so that the amount of damage I take is the quickest that I'm going to recover. So if I'm going to hit for like 20 damage, I'll slowly recover it over like 2 or 3 hit points each time. The more fast hit recovery you have, the better health regeneration you'll have. So between that, I think it's like 30% of that, and then the 25, so 55% fast hit recovery. We should be recovering health pretty well. We got 475 right now without our bow. Pretty sure we didn't change up Merce. Besides giving you the Rip Hook, which I don't know if I explained in the last video about that one, but it has that chances of open wounds. I do have the helmets. It's the belt that I'm missing for this set, which I haven't even found on my sorceress. And then I gemmed this up. I didn't realize I put a level 50 jewel. Excuse me, jewels, not gemmed. A level 50 jewel in there. So this was originally level 35, but since I put that jewel, it's level 50. That's the armor that I'm going to be giving my mercenary ones if we ever reach that high of a level, which I don't think we will, but so we'll see. So we're going to be fighting Diablo. I forgot to start my timer, but I have my little clock down here since I have this in Windows mode. So, and we're looking at 620 health. So, we're pretty much grand. Okay. Pit Lords. And as usual, you hear my mouse clicking, so can't be helped. And of course, always on player 7. So, Chaos Sanctuary is definitely going to be interesting considering the Amplify, which is going to be really annoying. Still debating if I want to sacrifice a couple of my skill points just to put in Leap. So that just save trouble actually having to grind this goddamn area if I ever want to, depending on how difficult it's actually going to be, but level 35. And I looked it up too. I was actually mistaken on the boss's level. Mephisto is level 26 on normal difficulty. I believe it said Diablo is level 40 on normal difficulty, and Bale is level 60 on normal difficulty. I was a little shocked by that, to find out that those are the levels. Mephisto's, at the time, we were like 5 levels higher than Mephisto, and we're still only like 5 levels lower than Diablo. And like, so, I didn't realize Bale was that high of a level. I thought he was like 45 at least, but apparently not, because that's like the starting required level for Nightmare at 45 minimum. You know, you can go in lower, but you'll end up getting your ass kicked. But that was interesting to find out. So that actually explains the reason why at taking him on at level 30, why he's such a goddamn pain in the ass to defeat. So, and you may hear my family in the background too, so I do apologize. Okay, we're one-shotting these guys. That's kind of a good sign. Basically one-shotting these guys too. And I pretty much looked through most of the stuff. It's like all minimum like 40-ish, between 40 and 45-ish, just to even use. So, I'm not going to be using any of that stuff for quite a while. And if you haven't seen it, go check out my reaction to Aquaman 2. So this is what I was curious about. Even with that defense. And getting goddamn Decify. Still taking a decent amount of damage, but nothing too worrisome just yet. It's the big groups like this because we're using single target damage. Everything's a little more interesting. I have to keep my eye on my health a little more. It's one of the areas you can use Whirlwind. Like I said, the problem with Whirlwind is because it starts you in a negative amount of damage. It's just usually not worth it unless you, like I said, you have full IK or some sort of weapon that's going to actually do a lot of damage, even when Whirlwind is in negative amount of damage. I think it's like 10 levels or so. Whirlwind actually starts getting out of the negative amount of damage. I could be completely wrong on that because I just never bother using Whirlwind. You can hear a goddamn bird in the background. Bird's being going crazy. So yeah. Gotta love nature. Let's see, put our. That go there. And you hear the car go by too. I am definitely thinking about changing my PC setup the way I have it set up now to the point where I can start using the green screen a little more proficient. So instead of just having like a random square webcam box, I'll just green screen it. Make it a little nicer. So. Oh, boys, still not much of a trouble. Lord Diaz, I think, is going to be... he might be a pain. It's usually Inflictors, or whatever his goddamn name is going to be the more pain in the ass one. Railroad, Small Charm... Courage. I'll take that diamond. But having mercenary, having what's the word I'm looking for? Open wounds, like having a brain fart there, should help against Diablo as long as he doesn't focus her too much, or as long as she doesn't get hit by the goddamn Inferno. We should be good. Should hopefully get through Diablo in this video. We still got like 14 minutes left, so the way we're burning through these enemies, we should be able to get to them. You may hear another car go by, so I do apologize. Alright, Mark, get over here. Hold on! One moment, guys. I gotta see what the fam wants real quick. So we will be right back. Alright, guys, we're back. I do apologize. It's Mom's birthday, so discussing on presents to give her, so let's see, we just killed him, so let's go get Diablo. I think once we kill Diablo we'll end the recording there, because I gotta run into town. Yeah, of course, like one of the worst ways you can get, except for the sorceress, because what's his name will always trap you in here. So the best way you can do is if you have something like, if you're playing like there's a few exceptions. If you're playing a ranged type of champion like a sorceress, you could always teleport on the other side and try to lure him around, or you could just stick within this corner, and what will happen is he'll come around this corner right here and he'll end up getting stuck. Now if you're using something like Blizzard or Hydras, you kind of have a better advantage because they can still get him within that area. Or if you just stay back here, he'll stay over in this spawn areas sometimes, and you can pick him off that way. Amazon, literally no contest. So whether you're playing Jav or you're playing Bozon, you can easily just pick them off. Same thing with a Trap Assassin, but Traps over here, just let them work until they're all dead. If you're using something like the Paladin, on the other hand, it's a little more different story depending if you're playing like a Hammerden, you're going to have to get in there anyways. If you're playing an Oridon, if you're using like lightning ones, it should be a certain distance to the point where they should be taking amounts of damage, especially if you're playing a lightning one. Frost one isn't really going to do too much, and fire isn't really going to be too effective against them. Necromancers, you can use your skeletons. It's going to be somewhat kind of difficult because they'll tend to lure the enemy to over here to where you actually are, especially if your skeletons are not strong enough. And if you're using something like a poison necromancer or a bone necromancer, you may have a slight advantage, but poison is going to have to do a certain amount of damage over a certain period of time. With the bone necromancer, you have to be a little more accurate unless you're using something like bone spirit if you're at level 30. And if you're playing a barbarian, that's where you're going to have the most difficulty because you're physically going to have to get in there. Unless you're using something like Howl or Grimward to actually fear them away and slowly pick them off that way. Grimwards can probably be your best shot. Which one is it? This one down here. Basically puts a little totem there, and it says duration for 40 seconds, and then basically any enemies nearby will immediately get feared away, and that's probably your best shot to take out enemies like him because of the massive amounts. Then they will try to rush you and use infernos and any physical damage. So physical and fire, you want to have at least some either reduction or have resistance to it. So, but for us, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Even with high amount of fire resistance I have, you know, he's still put up a punch. I mean, if this was on players 1, it'd be a different story because I would easily just be one-shotting these guys. But since it's player 7, you know, they're going to pack a little more harder punch. So, especially if you're playing something like hardcore mode, you definitely want to play as safely as possible. Trying to run past them, not a great idea because usually most of the time they will actually just end up blocking you and blocking the path where you're going to go, and then you're end up just going to get trapped and die anyways. And if you play in hardcore mode, once you die, that's it. You know. And if you haven't seen that, I believe it was like a rabies Fury Druid, I think it was, on hardcore mode. So go check that out if you're interested in hardcore Druid run. So, but let's see what our boy Diablo can do. So this may be a shorter video, so too, depending how long it actually takes me to fight Diablo. We have roughly about 6 minutes left, so. Right. Player 7 Diablo, what do we got? So how's it going, guys? For some odd reason, the OBS decided to cut off my goddamn video as we were in the middle of the Diablo fight. Don't know what the hell just happened. So that's definitely a new one to me. Thank you, OBS. In other words, we beat Diablo. So you didn't really miss much. He dropped some Demon Hive gloves that weren't even really that good. They were just ethereal. But we will be picking this up in Act 5. So I do apologize for that. Just random cutoff. I don't know. OBS is always weird like that. But, so we'll see you guys in Act 5, which shall be for tomorrow's video. Alright? I do apologize. Apologize about that, but I'll have to look into it. See you guys.